Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenter at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at CACRAO.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, CACRAO.org. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenter.
All right, hi everyone. Thanks for coming. It might take just a second for me to get my screen shared for you to present. All right. Well, first things first, I want to thank everyone for coming out to the StriveScan tonight. My name is Jessie Bartley. I'm an admissions counselor here at Bridgewater, but I also just graduated from Bridgewater in May 2020. So a pretty recent graduate, and I would say my most favorite thing about working with the college so far has been telling all of my student experiences with the college. I spent all 4 years here at Bridgewater. I was a business administration major and a coaching minor. But with my academics and everything, I was also a student athlete, so I played on the golf team. So I was pretty busy throughout the year. With golf, we play in both the fall and spring, and then usually the winter months were my time off, if you will, the off season. So if you have any questions, the presentation will take about 25-30 minutes. You can ask those, as she was saying, in the chat, and then there at the end, I'll hopefully be able to get all the questions in. We'll go ahead and get started here. So for today's schedule, there are really three things, just in my personal experience, that I think you should focus on when you're trying to find a college or a university that fits you. You want to make sure it has an academic program that you're interested in. You want to make sure it's not a ghost town on the weekends. So you want to make sure it has a social life and a student life. And lastly, you want to make sure it fits you financially, so it's something you can afford. And then at the end there, I'll talk about the application process as well. So to give you a little bit of an at a glance of Bridgewater, our student body, our total enrollment is about 1,600 students. This year, our freshman class is right around 430, and you see the breakdown there of our freshman class. Pretty close to 50% split between males and females. 77% of our students are from the state of Virginia, but we also have 10 other states represented as well. And you'll also see the breakdown of our GPA and SAT, ACT scores. We are going to be test optional. I'll talk a little bit more about the test optional policy a little bit later, but just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there for you. But you'll see the mid 50% GPA, a 3.1 to a 3.96. So as I mentioned there, when I first started, you want to make sure there's an academic program here at Bridgewater that suits you. So that's really the first box you should be looking to check off when you're looking at any college. So here at Bridgewater, you have 60 majors and minors for you to choose from. Our top 5 are business administration, that's what I was, biology, health and exercise science, psychology. We also offer liberal studies for those interested in teaching. We also have 4 graduate programs. They're all fairly new. The athletic training program is about 4 or 5 years old. Digital media strategies is about 2-3 years old. And then psychology and mental health professions, as well as the HR, human resource management, was just started this year. Our first class come in. So the graduate programs are actually taught by our undergraduate professors. So the graduate school is not separate from Bridgewater. It's all still taught right here on campus by all the professors that you would have in your undergraduate would be the same ones teaching you if you decided to go the graduate program here at Bridgewater. We also have some study abroad opportunities, May term, which is what I will talk about now with May term. So May term is really an immersive experience for you on campus. So with May term, think of our academic calendar is going to go about the end of August to usually about the middle of December, you'll finish up exams. The first week of January, you'll come back to campus to start spring semester. You go first week of January or so to the last week of April, you'll finish up exams, and then we'll start May term. So usually the first Monday in May starts May term. 3-week course. So it's really an immersive course for you. You can take a class on campus, you can do a field experience. So maybe you're looking at doing your student teaching the next year and you want to get in the classroom, get to know your teacher you'll be working with, something like that. As you see in the picture there, she's working in a classroom. You can do a travel course. We have courses that go to England, South Africa, South America. We also have travel courses that stay here in the States. So we have one that goes out to LA. I went on the trip to New York, which was amazing. I had never been anywhere in a big city like New York City. We were there for a week. It was awesome. I one day hope to go back. And those trips are affordable. There's scholarships available for those trips as well. But also during May term, you can do an internship. A piece of advice as you go through college and continuing your education, having internships, summer jobs, travel courses, field experiences, all of those hands-on activities that you can get in college, those will be really important for you when you're applying for jobs or internships and things like that. So with the travel courses, if you decided to do one of those, you have 2 May terms included in your tuition. So 2 of those would be free in a sense that you've already paid in your tuition. So with that, if you decided to take a class on campus and that was your first May term that you took, you wouldn't have to pay extra. But with the travel courses, you would just have to pay for the flight or the train ride or food or housing during May term. You can live on campus for May term. You still have access to the dining hall. It's a pretty nice opportunity. A lot of students use May term to catch up on gen ed classes or to get a jump with their major or minor during May term. I also want to touch on our Flory Honors Program. So you'll see the requirements as well as the features that come with our honor program. Cumulative high school GPA of 3.8 or higher. You need to make sure you have a strong academic curriculum. Being a resident student, we are fully residential, so that shouldn't be too difficult to fulfill the residential student requirement. You can also still apply test optional and still be able to be considered for the honors program. But if you'd like to submit test scores, we'll also accept those as well. We have some features that come along with the honors program, so you would be eligible for an extra scholarship. You have priority registration, special housing, and they also do a Flory Honors Oxford experience as well. So you could have the opportunity to study at Oxford, which would be pretty cool. Definitely something you would want to put on a resume and point out as you were continuing your education and looking for jobs and everything. So we also understand here at Bridgewater that life in the world is bigger than Bridgewater College and your hometown. So the college does a really great job of bringing in people to the college to introduce you to people from different backgrounds, different walks of life, different careers and opportunities. So just this past last year, we had Monica Lewinsky come on campus. She talked about social activism and online bullying. We had Captain Mark Kelly come a couple years ago, a NASA astronaut. With Captain Mark Kelly, my roommates and I actually waited in line. I want to say probably like 2 hours to make sure we got in to the Cole Hall, which is our large auditorium, to make sure we got a seat for his presentation. Super awesome person, loved the presentation that he gave. Dr. Bennett Amalu was also on campus not too long ago. He worked with the CTE, or actually discovered the CTE in NFL players. So he was sort of the main person there with the movie Concussion. I think Will Smith actually played him in the movie, so a lot of people recognize the name Will Smith. And then we also had Jerry Greenfield from Ben & Jerry's. A lot of people recognize the name Ben & Jerry's rather than Jerry Greenfield, but he was also on campus. He brought ice cream for all students on campus, so of course he was a fan favorite with the ice cream there. But I would say these endowed lectures and convocations, just speaking from my student experience, they really help you not only just to go to a cool event and say, you know, I got to say I met a NASA astronaut, but he really gave an important talk, and it was a way for my roommates and I to connect with other people, not only on campus, but the community is also invited to those as well. So your campus experience. So talked a little bit about academics. So if we have an academic program that fits you, you can check that box. And next is student life. So your campus experience. So our student life office actually has 4 different pillars that they focus on. So each one of our student life events will be focused around one of these pillars. So your identity, you're going to grow from who you are now as a 17, 18-year-old high school senior to who you're going to be when you're 22, 23 and graduating college. You're going to figure out who you are, who you want to be. Critical thinking, how can you make decisions? How can you go through the decision-making process? Community, how can you enhance the community around you? How can you connect with others? And culture appreciation, how can you understand that everyone brings something new to the table, and how can we appreciate that and make sure everyone feels welcome and that they're all feeling special? So for campus experience, resident life, I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier, but we are fully residential. So what that means is all 4 years you're expected to live on campus. But you certainly don't have to live in a residence hall all 4 years. You can if you'd like. But we have 7 residential halls on campus. So as a freshman, you're going to be in a residence hall. There's not really much room to move around that. But as you earn more credits, more housing options open up to you. So we have cottages, which are small houses still located on campus, sort of around the outskirts of campus. Those usually house about 8 to 10 students, depending on the cottage. Those usually come with a theme. So say if you're interested in biology, you could get a bunch of biology majors together and you guys could room together. Or maybe if you're a student athlete, you could have a student athlete house and have a bunch of athletes that live together. The Wampler Towers, those are apartments. Those are 4 and 6 person apartments. So I actually lived in a 6-person apartment my junior year. So I had 5 other roommates. We had 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, and a living space. It was a pretty nice setup to kind of have our own apartment without having to worry about paying a lease or, buying groceries every week if we didn't want to, because we still had access to the dining hall. So it's a pretty nice setup to be able to live in a house or an apartment. We also have stone village houses. Those are really more like condos. So they have hardwood floors, granite countertops, a really big, large living space for you to have guests over. And then we also have the Crimson Inn, which is about 3 blocks from campus, still considered on-campus housing, and those have larger individual rooms available for students there. Some things before I move on about residence life. As you look around at other schools, you'll start to notice that not all freshmen get everything that upper class students get. So here at Bridgewater, we offer the same thing to freshmen as we do upper class students. So as a freshman in your residence hall, you'll have air conditioning, which you'll notice not all colleges offer to first year students. That was something that when I was looking at colleges, I found out not all colleges offered that. And I was like, wait a second, I have to have air conditioning. That's definitely a priority. So AC in all of your residences here at Bridgewater. Laundry is free, so you don't have to worry about carrying around quarters or paying with your student ID card, nothing like that. You can also have your car on campus as a freshman, so you just have to pay for the parking pass. But what's nice about our campus is it's fairly small. So while you may not, park right in front of your dorm, you may just have to cross the street. You're not going to be parking, 10 miles into town and catching a bus, nothing like that. Pretty small campus for you to navigate. Next is dining. So since we are a small campus, we only have 1 dining hall. So you have unlimited swipes to go in and out of the dining hall as many times as you like. The hours there are 7 a.m. to midnight. Fresh food made daily. I'm all the time asked, how's the food? How's it good? Is it good? Do you like it? I would say fresh food is always good and always very enjoyable to have that fresh dining experience. Everything comes locally as well. Everything comes from within about 120 miles of Bridgewater. So vegetables cut fresh that morning, your hamburgers and chicken never frozen, all fresh. They actually have a smoker that they do barbecue and chicken. They've been using that quite a bit this semester because that's something they can do outside. So yeah, really good dining experience. The dining hall also works with our student life staff, and they'll have events in the dining hall. So they'll have a Super Bowl party with wings, a big projector they'll put up and display the game. They'll have casino night. Bingo is really popular with students. So anything to kind of draw students into the dining hall. They'll have cookie skillets, all of that. So pretty nice dining setup since it is the only one on campus. They definitely want to make sure that there's something there for you to always have access to. Next is athletics. So as far as campus experience in athletics, we have 23 NCAA Division III teams. We also have an equestrian program. So about 5 miles south of our campus, we have a 75-acre horse farm. We have a cheerleading and dance team, and we also have 11 national championships as well. Campus recreation. So the Funkhauser Center on campus is sort of think of it like a YMCA. So our Funkhauser Center is open to all students, student athlete, non-student athlete, faculty, staff. Everyone on campus can go to the Funkhauser Center. They have a large workout fitness room, so they'll have Zumba, yoga, cycling, all of that there in the group room. 2 racquetball courts, basketball courts, a small track around the basketball courts, a larger weight room, so free weights, cable weights, treadmills, ellipticals, all of that. Also located in the Funkhauser Center, we have our own health services department right here on campus as well. So if you ever feel sick or something like that, you can go to health services. 30 intramural sports. So as far as student athletes, our campus, about 30% of our students are NCAA student athletes, but about 60% of our students participate in intramurals. So intramurals are sports that students on campus play against other students on campus. So these range from everything from badminton and bowling to 5-on-5 basketball, flag football, soccer, indoor, outdoor. Personally, I did bowling. We won bowling. Pretty nice. You get a t-shirt if you win. You get an intramural championship t-shirt, and that's sort of your bragging rights for the year until you play again. So the t-shirts are pretty popular on campus. But I did badminton, won bowling, sand volleyball, basketball. We won basketball. That was pretty fun. Dodgeball. So really a good opportunity for you to get active, meet people across campus. With that, you can just show up to the event and join a team, or you can create your own team that way. So anything to get involved. Outdoor programs. We are right here in the Shenandoah Valley, so a lot of hiking opportunities all around campus. We actually have an outdoor program that's going hiking this weekend. So anything to take advantage of being outdoors. Right behind our athletic complex is the North River that flows right through. All sorts of hiking opportunities along the Appalachian Trail, Blue Ridge Mountains. Massanutten is a resort about 40 minutes from campus. They have skiing, snowboarding, snow tubing, indoor, outdoor water park. So a lot of students use Massanutten as well. And then the group workout classes I touched on when I talked about the Funkhauser Center. They have yoga, Zumba, kickboxing, all of that for you. And those are free for you to go to as well. We also have clubs and organizations on campus. So we have over 60 clubs and organizations for you to join. All of those are open to everyone. So as a business major, if I wanted to join PE club, I could have. Our clubs and organizations break up into 3 smaller categories. So we have religious clubs and organizations for you to join. Special interests, so there's fly fishing, an outdoor club, BC gamers, so they play Xbox, PlayStation, online games, Minecraft I'm sure is in there. And then we also have academic clubs, so those are related to your major and minor. We have honor societies on campus as well as musical ensembles for you to join as well. There in the picture is our pep band, and Ernie the Eagle is our mascot. So the pep band will play at football games, basketball games. Anyone can join pep band. We have some faculty and staff that are also in pep band. So they definitely bring a lot of energy to football games on Saturday for sure. All right, so now that we've talked about academics, you can check that box off. Student life, there should definitely be something that within student life that you could find that you're interested in, so you could check that off. So now it's time to talk about financial aid. How can we fit you and your family as far as scholarships, tuition assistance, grants, and all of that. So here at Bridgewater, we have 3 types of aid that are available to you. We have the institutional aid, so merit scholarships. Those are all based off of your GPA. So essentially, the higher your GPA, the more money you're eligible to receive. We also offer the out-of-state scholarship. So that is a $3,500 incentive grant for you. You just fill out a form, send it back to our financial aid office. The quickest and easiest money you'll ever make with $3,500 incentive out-of-state scholarship. Then if you're also a member of the Church of the Brethren, you're eligible for a grant being a part of the church. We also have the state aid for Virginia residents, and then the federal aid. So the free application for federal student aid. That application is actually going to open up in a week or so. October 1st is when the FAFSA is going to open up. And that is all need-based for the federal aid. So that's going to be based off of your family's tax information. So our financial aid office actually recommends that you and your family sit down at a laptop or a PC to fill out the FAFSA, just so you can access the data retrieval tool. And that'll help hopefully cut down all of the stress of going through all your tax papers and everything, trying to find the right numbers. It'll just automatically pull your tax information that way. There is an app for you to download that you can get on your phone or something, or your tablet. Our financial aid office actually says don't do that, just because then you don't have access to the retrieval tool. So definitely sit down at a laptop or a computer to fill out the FAFSA. Hopefully it's an easy process for you. I always tell people it always gave my dad and I a very hard time, but we also procrastinated. So next week when it opens up October 1st, definitely try to get that done as soon as possible. And then you don't have to worry about it after that. You can go ahead and submit it, and then we'll run it through for financial aid. So the application process. So there are two ways to apply to Bridgewater. We have the Bridgewater specific application and the Common App. Both applications are free, so there's no fee associated with either one. You do not have to write an essay. There's no teacher recommendations required. We also require supplemental items. So this is where that test optional policy will come up. We do require your high school transcript, so you just have to contact your guidance office to have that sent to us. But we are going to be test optional. So just on your application, if you're electing to apply test optional, just go ahead and select test optional. Just so that way when we receive your application, we can go ahead and mark that to not be on the lookout for your test scores later down the road. If you would still like to apply with test scores, that's certainly an option. We'll gladly accept those if you'd like to send those in as well. We're also offering early action. So the deadline for early action is November 15th. So by the 15th, if you have your application submitted as well as your transcript, and if you decide to apply with your test scores sent in to us by the 15th. By December 1st, you'll have your admissions decision and your merit-based aid by December 1st. But also by November 15th, if you also have the FAFSA form filled out, you'll have your full financial aid package back to you by December 1st. So nice opportunity to get all of that done before the holidays. Enjoy the holidays, and then first of the year, you can start to narrow down your colleges and your selection from there. Have you back on campus for a campus visit. So anything to kind of start to narrow down your search first of the year. But say November 15th, you missed the deadline. I'm sure everything is a little bit hectic with your family schedule, your school schedule. If you have a job that you do after school, all of that, I'm sure the schedule is different for everyone right now. So if you missed the November 15th deadline, no worries. Here at Bridgewater, we're rolling admissions. So what that means is we're reviewing applications every day. So say if you, go home for winter break and you decide to apply over winter break, once your application is completed, within 2 or 3 weeks, you'll have your decision back with rolling admissions. So pretty quick turnaround, whichever way you decide, but definitely with early action, it's a nice opportunity to have everything done by November 15th and then to have your financial aid packages and your decision by December 1st is a nice opportunity. So for the supplemental items, this is just real quick how to go about submitting those to us. So you can send your transcript online through parchment.com. Some schools also use Naviance, so definitely reach out to your guidance office to see which one they prefer. You can email the transcript to admissions@bridgewater.edu, or you can also mail it to our admissions office here at Bridgewater. And then with test scores, you can actually download a PDF from the test website and also email that to admissions@bridgewater.edu. You can send the test from the test website. We'll take the scores that way. And again, you can mail them to our admissions office if that's what you prefer. So as far as campus visits, our campus is open for students to come onto campus with their families. We're open Monday to Saturday for you to come for a personalized visit. That's where you would meet one-on-one with an admissions counselor and go out on tour for an on-campus tour with one of our student ambassadors. We have prospective Eagle Days, Saturday group visits, BC Discovery Day, and then Admitted Advisory Day would be coming up as well. We also just announced an open house, so definitely go on our website, check out those visit days and times, and hopefully we have one that suits for you. But if you maybe don't feel comfortable coming to campus, all of our events have virtual engagement. So that means they're all streamed live over Zoom. So you have access to the same information as those in person. But we also offer a few other ways to engage with us. We have Counselor on Call every Monday at 7 p.m. Webcast Wednesday, that's where myself and two other counselors, all three of us actually just graduated, so still pretty connected to campus. So we talk about everything from dining and the Center for Engaged Learning to how AP and dual enrollment classes will transfer to Bridgewater. We talk about housing, campus police, student engagement. So we talk about a lot of things on Webcast Wednesday. We're hosting on every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Every Friday at 3 p.m. is an ambassador-led virtual tour. And then once a month on a Sunday, we have an Eagle to Eagle student panel, so you can actually talk with real-time Bridgewater current students. So that is pretty much all that I have for presenting to you on Bridgewater. I put my information there, my email, phone number, so feel free to reach out. But if you have any questions, I'm not sure, I believe I can pull up the Q&A here. I'll go ahead and stop sharing. So if you have any questions, feel free to put those in the Q&A. I'll be happy to answer them for you. And again, my office phone number, if you'd like to get in touch with me, is 540-828-5465. I will say too, just as advice from someone who was in, a high school senior not too long ago, 4 or 5 years ago, looking at colleges and going through the college process and figuring out if I wanted to go to a big school, small school, what major I wanted to be. As far as figuring out large schools, small schools, far away from home, close to home, definitely visit schools. I know some schools are open right now. We are. Some are starting to phase back into letting visitors on campus, but definitely connect with the school. See if you can go for an in-person visit. And when you're on that visit, try to picture yourself walking through the library or the dining hall or through the academic halls. Watch how students interact with each other on campus. Here at Bridgewater, a lot of students participate in outdoor activities. So we have our outdoor programs, intramurals, NCAA athletes. So a lot of people moving around campus all the time. So if that's something you're interested in and being outdoors, definitely Bridgewater could potentially be the place for you. As far as academics, go through programs that you're interested in, read more about those. Get in touch with department heads, with your admissions counselors, and they can really help you with all of that search as well.
Yeah, so while we're waiting for to see if we have any questions, I thought I would go ahead and ask you a question.
Okay.
What made you choose Bridgewater?
So what made me choose Bridgewater is I had an older brother that came to Bridgewater. He also played golf, so I kind of had that connection, but I would say my financial aid package was a big part of my decision to come to Bridgewater. We may have a high sticker price, but they definitely make up for that with your academic and your merit aid. So personally, out of all the schools I applied to, I knew I wanted to go to a small school in the state of Virginia, and Bridgewater was the one that offered me the most in academic aid. So my financial aid package was a big part of my decision. Very happy with my decision for sure. Super glad that I made it. And then just once I got on campus, the community feeling of everyone, everyone's respectful of each other. everyone's going to hold the door open for you. Our president, he actually lives right here on campus with us. So his commute is about a 2-minute walk to his office. And if you see him on campus, he's going to ask you how you're doing. He's going to eat in the dining hall. Faculty and staff go into the dining hall all the time. So a nice community around campus is really what kept me here too.
And what was your favorite experience with Bridgewater?
My favorite experience, I got to fly. For golf, my freshman year, we flew back from a tournament in Florida. I had never flown before, so that was a cool experience. But I would say my second most favorite experience was my May term trip to New York. So for New York, like I said, I had never been to a big city like New York before. We actually took the Amtrak train up to New York. We're there for a week. Times Square was amazing. We stayed like less than a block from Times Square. It was awesome. We took the ferry so we could go right by the Statue of Liberty, toured around through all the different neighborhoods and everything. But yeah, my travel experience in New York was definitely a big part of my experience. One of my most memorable for sure.
All right, well, I think we are done with the questions. I will go ahead and close out with some last minute remarks. Maybe. Sorry, there we go. So thank you all for joining us today and listening to Jess talk about how amazing Bridgewater is. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at CACRAO.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find the sessions recording as well as other sessions recordings at CACRAO.org. Thank you and have a great night.